Good afternoon, students. I'm Professor G.D. Padil, KKO College of Agriculture Engineering and Technology, Nashik. Today's we are going to study on importance of drying and its process. The importance of drying. The permits long time storage of grain without deteriorations. Then permits continuous supply of product throughout the year. Then permits early harvest, which reduces the field damage and shattering losses. Then permits the farmers to have better quality product and makes products available during off season. These are importance of drying. Then drying theory. The convection process in which moisture from product is removed. Okay, the drying it is a convection process in which moisture removed from the product up to predetermined level. The water content of agricultural product is given in terms of moisture content. The grain gain or lose moisture as per the atmospheric conditions. The moisture migration into or from a product is dependent on the difference of vapor pressure between atmosphere and product. If the vapor pressure of grain is greater than atmospheric vapor pressure, transfer of moisture from grain to atmosphere takes place. Okay, generally grains are hygroscopic in nature. Okay, means generally if vapor pressure of grain is greater than atmospheric vapor pressure, that time transfer of moisture from grain to atmosphere takes place. If atmospheric vapor pressure is greater than grain vapor pressure, that time grains absorb moisture from atmospheric condition. The two drying processes, thin layer drying process and deep bed drying process. The thin layer drying process means in which all grains are fully exposed to the drying air under constant drying conditions at constant temperature and humidity. Generally up to 20 centimeter thickness of grain bed is taken as a thin layer. Then all commercial dryers are designed based on thin layer drying principles. So as per represented by Newton's law, by replacing moisture content in place of temperature, means this is the moisture ratio m minus me by m0 minus me is equal to a raised to minus k theta, where m means moisture content at any time percent dry basis, me means equilibrium moisture content percent dry basis, mo is the initial moisture content percent dry basis, and k is the drying constant. Then deep bed drying. This is the second process of drying. The all grains are not fully exposed to the same condition of drying air. Condition of drying air changes with time and depth of grain bed. The rate of airflow per unit mass of grain is small as compared to thin layer drying. The drying of grain in deep bed can be taken as a sum of several thin layers. Humidity and temperature of air entering and leaving each layer vary with time. Also, volume of drying zone varies with temperature and humidity of entering air, moisture content of grain, and velocity of air. So this is the figure of deep bed drying. This is the deep bed dryer, and this graph shows moisture content versus drying time. This is the top layer, intermediate layer, and bottom layer. The firstly at the bottom side, this is the air inlet and also heaters provided at the bottom side. The number of layers, dry grains, drying zones, drying front, and wet grains. In wet grains, 16 to 20% moisture content. In drying zone, 13 to 15% moisture content, and dry grain, 12% moisture content. Okay, and at the top side is the outlet, also exhaust provided to deep bed dryer. So firstly, air transfer over the heaters. Okay, that time this heated air transfer forcefully through the layer of grains. Okay, so that time bottom side grains firstly dried. Okay, in deep bed drying, and then middle, and then top layer. Okay, in this process all grains not fully exposed by same condition of drying air. Okay, then continuous flow dryers. The different types of dryers consist of continuous flow mixing type dryer, continuous flow non-mixing dryers. So these are columnar type dryers in which where grains flow from top to the bottom of the dryer. Then two types, mixing and non-mixing. In mixing type continuous flow dryers, the grains are diverted in the dryer by providing baffles. Use low air flow rates of 50 to 95 meter cube per minute per turn. Then zigzag columns enclosed by screens are used to achieve mixing. Also high drying air temperature of 65 degrees Celsius is used in continuous flow mixing type dryers. Okay. Then non-mixing. The grains flow in a straight path generally in non-mixing type dryers. Then baffles are not provided and drying takes place between two parallel screens. Higher flow rates can be used in non-mixing type dryers. Then drying air temperature of 54 degrees Celsius is used in continuous flow non-mixing type dryers. The baffle dryers. This is one of the continuous flow mixing type dryer. consists of receiving bin, drying chamber fitted with baffles, plenum fitted with hot air inlet. The baffles are fitted to divert the flow and also for mixing, for achieving proper mixing. Okay, in drying chamber, the grain fed at the top and move downward in zigzag path where it encounters a cross flow of hot air. So bucket elevator is used to recirculate the grain till the grain is dried to desired moisture level. In this dryer, the uniformly dried product is obtained by using baffle dryers. So this figure shows baffle dryer. It consists of receiving bin. This is the grain movement, then cross flow of hot air, plenum chamber, adjustable speed discharge rollers, quick convey discharge rollers. Okay, that means at the top side receiving bin means generally feed upper type mechanism, feeding the seed at the top side and movement of seed in a zigzag path. Okay, because of the number of baffle plates provided in drying chamber, at that time divert the flow of seed can properly mix. Okay, with the help of baffles, that time grains movement across the flow of air. Okay, at that time our grains exposed by drying air conditions. Okay, uniformly dried in a baffle dryer. Okay, and at the bottom side this is the discharge mechanisms. Discharge rods provided means generally as per the capacity. Okay, discharge the dried grains at the bottom side into discharge spots. This is the continuous flow non-mixing type dryers, generally receiving bin. Okay, plenum chamber, air inlets. Okay, also discharge side at the bottom side 4. Then grains feeding at the top side. Then straight path of the grains directly movement downward directions. No obstructions provided in continuous flow non-mixing dryers. Okay, to that time not all grains exposed by drying condition of air. Okay, to that time grains are partially dried. Okay, in single pass. Okay, that time also these partially dried grains recirculated at the top side with the help of bucket elevators. So it consists of feed hopper, plenum chamber, exhaust air, dry grain outlet and screen grain columns. Okay, generally this is. Then continuous flow dryers, also non-mixing means recirculated batch. The continuous flow non-mixing type, the recirculated batch dryer developed by Post Harvest Technology Centers, IIT Kharagpur. So this is the continuous flow non-mixing type dryer. Consists of two concentric circular cylinders set 15 to 20 cm apart. Bucket elevator is used to feed and recirculate the grain. Also centrifugal blower blows the hot air into the inner cylinder, acts as a plenum. Then grain is fed at the top of the inside cylinder, comes in contact with cross flow of hot air. Also exhaust air comes out to the proportion of the outer cylinder. Then grain is recirculated till it is dried to desired moisture content, and drying is not uniform as compared to mixing types. Okay, so this is the recirculated batch type dryer, means generally PHTC dryer, because developed by PHTC IIT Kharagpur. It consists of perforated inner cylinder. This is the perforated outer cylinder. Then bucket elevator for recirculating the grain. Then this is the downward grain movement by gravity. This is the drying air inlet. Okay. Then LSU dryer. The generally this dryer developed at Louisiana State University in USA. It is continuous flow mixing type dryer. Okay. The mostly using India and USA for drying. They developed specifically for rice to ensure central treatment, good mixing and good air to grain contact. Also consists of rectangular chamber holding bin, blower with duct, grain discharging mechanism and air heating system. Layers of inverted V-shaped channels are installed in the drying chamber. Heated air is introduced to these channels at many points. Also alternate layers are air inlet and outlet channels arranged one below the other in an offset pattern in LSU dryer. The inlet ports consist of few full-size ports and two half-size ports. All ports are of same size arranged in equal spacing. The rib rollers are provided at the bottom of drying chamber for discharge of grain. And capacity of this type of dryer varies from 2 to 12 tons. Okay. So this is the LSU dryer. Okay. Figure shows inside number of ports, inlet ports and outlet ports. At the right side figure shows this is the blower side, air inlets, exhaust system, also outlets at the bottom side. The recommended airflow rate is 60 to 70 meter per minute per turn. Also temperature 60 to 85 degrees Celsius for raw and purple paddy in LSU dryer. Then uniformly dried product can be obtained by using LSU dryer. Also can be used for different types of grain, but high capital investment in LSU dryer. Then rotary dryers. So this is continuous flow dryers. The food stuff is contained in a horizontal inclined cylinder through which it travels, being heated either by airflow through the cylinder or by conduction of heat from the cylinder walls. In some cases, the cylinder rotates, and in other the cylinder is stationary, and a paddle or screw rotates within the cylinder, conveying the material through the drying chamber. Okay, so this is figure shows rotary dryers consist of lifting flights inside the dryer, means also feed inlet, then also air inlet, rotating unions, also discharge system provided at the other side, also support of side of discharge, then support of side of actuating, means also exhaust system provided for exhaust the gases. Okay, thank you students.